Hey everyone, how are you doing? So, I decided to not put any makeup on because I bear the marks of a readathon. You see those dark circles? It's because I've been reading a lot. My head is killing me. And even though it's 6:37 on Sunday, for me the readathon is over. I read 7 books, even though one of them was kind of cheating. I'll show you at the end. And yeah, I thought it was really great, but I'm exhausted. So, without further ado, let me start by showing you what I started reading with, and so I'll show you the books, tell you how many pages they were, tell you how many stars I gave them, and at the end I'll give you my total page count. So, on Monday, well, it was Monday at midnight, basically, I started reading the Houdini box, and I finished it that evening. So the Houdini box is this book right here by Brian Selznick. It's a very short book. I was looking for Brian Selznick books, like a text with illustrations and everything, and I thought this was like the Invention of Hugo Cabret and Wonderstruck, but turns out it was like a very small book, but it's still beautiful. It's an amazing book. Amazing. I loved it. And yeah. It has a nice book. It has a nice little message at the end, even though I don't know, I would have loved a bit more from the end. That's why I gave it 4 out of 5 stars. But it's great, and his illustrations, as all of you know, are amazing. I love his style and everything. I don't know. Brian Selznick is one of my favorite illustrators from what I've seen. So this book was 80 pages, very short. I finished it, I think, within like an hour or 30 minutes or something like that. The next morning, I picked up The Art of War. And keep in mind that I've been, I work every single day from Monday to Friday, about roughly 5 to 7 hours a day. So depends, I can read all the time like I would have loved, but this is what I could do. So I picked up The Art of War by Sun Tzu, which they tell you at the beginning, in case you didn't know. He lived from 544 to 496 BC, and his life during the Warring States period after the decline of the Zhou dynasty. But his classic Art of War had been one of the central work of Chinese literature for over 2,500 years. So honestly, at the beginning, I don't like it that much, but I loved it towards the end. It's amazing. It's a great book. Honestly, he says things that I don't know. When you read, they're like, that is so true. I don't know. Maybe. And it's in the domain I actually want to study. I want to study, basically, what I would like to do in the future is intervention and prevention of armed conflicts. So that's like, kind of seeing the strategies behind war, even though it was written more than 2,500 years ago. It still applies, I feel, quite a bit. So I gave that 5 out of 5 stars, and that was 112 pages. Then I think the next day I started reading Royal Blood, or the same day, I'm not sure. I'm not gonna go in order because honestly I don't even remember. But I started reading Royal Blood by Rhys Bowen, and this book is really great too. I gave it 4 out of 5 stars. It was a bit slow at the beginning, but it's a mystery book. So obviously mystery books I find go by really fast because you just need to keep on turning the pages and going from one chapter. I just tell myself, okay, read till chapter, let's say 24, and then take a break or something, and then every chapter would end with a cliffhanger, so you're like, you need to start the other one. And I love that about mystery books. It's like they keep you hooked, and I think that's awesome. So this book is 305 pages. At the beginning it was, as I told you, it was a bit slow, but towards the end it was amazing. It had like this mixture of mystical things like vampires and things like that, because it takes place in a castle in Transylvania. And there is a real life murder that happens, and like, I don't know, it's nice, and everything connects at the end, and then you're like, oh god, like, of course. So that was 305 pages. I don't know if I've said that already. I think I read that, I started reading it on Tuesday and I finished on Wednesday, but meanwhile I read 2 graphic novels. So whenever I needed a break, basically. So then I think I picked up, Anne Frank, the Anne Frank House authorized graphic biography. Honestly, this book, obviously I gave it 5 out of 5 stars. I don't know how you can't give this book, whether it's the graphic novel or the actual book, 5 out of 5 stars. It's amazing. Amazing. And I cried a lot because this lovely girl you see here on the cover is like about my brother's age when she died, and it's heartbreaking to know that it's true, you know? Like, we all know that there's death all around, and we all know, but we are very stoic people. We have to, or else we will fall apart. We'll all be super depressed with all the misery that happens around us in the world. But when you read a book and you read the diary, the words of an actual person who was killed for the most insane and stupid reasons in the world, it brought a lot of tears to my eyes. And I'm sure all of you know, I don't know if I should say that, but like, I don't think any parent should have to bury their child. I mean, as much as I say I love my mom, and as much as all of us say we love our parents, it's nowhere close to as much as they love us. And I don't think it's fair for a parent to have to bury their child. It's heartbreaking. So this was amazing. And what's cool about this graphic novel too, first, the illustrations are beautiful, so you could put a face to the people basically in the stories, and they had like snippets of historical facts in here, so I thought that was beautiful. Like, so I don't know, like, it kind of put you in context and you kind of understood the story way better. So this is really great, and this book was written and illustrated by Sid Jacobson and Aaron Collin. So really recommend this. I loved it. I loved it. Then I read Lock and Key on a lighter but not so lighter tone, because it's a very gory book, even though this one I found was not as gory as the first one. And this one was way more mysterious, I would say, than the second one, because now we know a bit more about this creature in the well. And yeah, we want to know more about the story, because we kind of know what happened in the past, but we don't know how it happened and why it happened and all these things like that. So I can't wait for the third one. I need to pick it up soon. So I gave this 4 stars, I think. Yeah, I wrote everything down on a piece of paper, that's why I'm looking here. So 4 stars, and that was 144 pages. This was 148 pages. Finally, I went actually on Tuesday, because in Canada, at least here in Montreal, they told us the release date for Island Happily Ever After was on the 24th, I think. It was on Tuesday. Doesn't really matter. I'm gonna look for it anyways. So it was on Tuesday, and on the 26th. No, that's next week. On the 19th? Yeah, on the 19th. There we go. So on the 19th, you know, summer vacation, I can't keep track of dates. I'm just letting you know. Because I don't have a routine, so you just don't keep track of dates. So I went to the Indigo store where I was, and they told me they were sold out of it. They had one book that was kept on the site for one person, and she went to see in what other stores this book was available. It was not available in any store. There was one about like 30 kilometers away that had just one copy. And you never know when they say one copy, because sometimes, you know, like in the system it didn't register, someone bought it and things like that. And I was like, I was about to cry. She was about to hug me because I was waiting for it. And so I just decided to order it online, and I was like, you know what, if it doesn't get here in time, whatever, I'll just read it when the readathon's over. But it did get here on Wednesday or Friday. I think it got here on Friday, yeah. And so I ordered it on Wednesday and got here on Friday, which was awesome. And this is my beautiful copy of Isla and the Happily Ever After. So I read it yesterday and today I finished it. It's amazing. I loved it. I gave it 5 out of 5 stars. But to tell you the truth, out of the 3 Stephanie Perkins books, I would say probably Anna is my favorite out of the female protagonists. But I'm not sure between the guys. Not really sure. I love Josh and like his personality and everything, but I don't think we would get along if he was a real person. He's way too bohemian for me, let's say. I don't know. Maybe Etienne, I think, would be the best fit for me. Anyways, that's not the point. So I love this. I gave it 5 out of 5 stars. This book was 339 pages, so I definitely recommend you read them. I'm really not into romantic or cheesy books or whatever, but these books by Stephanie Perkins, they're amazing. I don't know if it's the way she writes about things, I don't know, her characters are just, they could be people you meet at high school or university, like, anyways, I loved it. Stephanie Perkins, you're an awesome author. Sure she's not watching this video, but whatever. And yesterday night I just needed a tiny break from this book, just because, you know, like, it's exhausting. As I told you, it's really exhausting, you know, like, I'm not used to reading at this pace. I like taking my time, and I wanted to finish it before the readathon, and I knew I only had 2 days. So I was trying to read till half of it, and I was not able. I fell asleep at the end, but I finished it today, I was super excited about. But I needed like a tiny break, and while I was eating dinner I actually read 4 Seasons of Mount Fuji. That's a gift that Estelle from Odementa sent me during our first exchange. I sent her a book about science fiction, like, I think famous science fiction authors. Oh my god, a bind-up, there you go, a bind-up of a bunch of works from famous science fiction authors. And as a thank you, she wanted to send me something. And so she sent me like a whole package with like, she sent me chopsticks and stickers, and I think she sent me like these little cookies with chocolate inside. They were amazing. I can't read what was on it because it was all in Japanese, I guess, but because she lives in Japan. But they were amazing. And she sent me this, and you know, I looked through it before I saw the pictures, but there's a lot of text. Well, not a lot, but there's text inside, and I never read it because I don't know, I just looked at the picture, you know, it's like more of a picture book. But it's really interesting. Some of these things are more like on the spirituality, the tradition around Mount Fuji. Some other things are more like on the geology of it all, the formation and things like that. And I thought that was really cool. I loved it. So I read it and I flipped through the pages. And yeah, so this book, these illustrations were taken by Yukio Ohiyama and Shigeki Yamashita, which I'm sure I just butchered these 2 names, but I do not speak Japanese, so there we go. And they're beautiful illustrations. Like, look at this. Look at how beautiful it is. You can't even see how beautiful it is through the camera, but look at this forest here. It's amazing. Amazing. There's one of them. Look. anyways, so that was 96 pages. So I'm just gonna take out my calculator, well, my phone. Okay, calculator, let's calculate. So we have 80 pages for the Houdini box. Then we have 112 pages for The Art of War, 305 pages for Royal Blood, 148 pages for Anne Frank, 144 for Lock and Key Head Games, which is volume 2, by the way. I don't know if I said that. 339 for Isla and the Happily Ever After, and 96 pages for Mount Fuji, and that's 1,224 pages. I'm very proud of myself, to tell you the truth. I just wanted to read 4 books. Tell you the truth, I don't know if you guys saw on Goodreads, but when I finished Isla and the Happily Ever After, it was like 5:39, I remember. I was like, I'll just take like 20 minutes as a break and I'll start Coraline by Neil Gaiman, because it's a very short book and there's like a couple illustrations here and there in the book as well, and it looks like pretty fast paced, but I'm just exhausted, so I decided not to read anymore. I'll start it probably tomorrow. I'm not gonna quit reading yet. School hasn't started yet, but I'll probably start reading it tomorrow, and yeah, so these are the books I read. Let's see if I can carry them all. These are the books I read this past week. It was awesome. I love readathons, and honestly I found out about like the catch-up readathon. I'll leave a link down below. Oops. I think it was created by the book people. I'll leave a link down to the video explaining the whole thing. Really wanted to participate in that, but honestly, 2 weeks of readathon, one after the other. So I'm really tired. Gonna take it more slowly now and just take my time. Like, I've been canceling plans with my friends so I can stay in to read, and I just need to see some people before school starts, and I see no one. So hope you guys had a great readathon. Leave me comments in the down bar letting me know like how was your reading weeks, what you accomplished. If you have a video, leave the link down below. I'll go watch it. And yeah, so have a great day, have a great end of the readathon, and I'll see you guys very soon. Bye.